ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hope Wood in California, and I have my friend Paul Harrison all the way from South Africa. And we met in an online class that's called Your Power Voice, founded by the legendary Les Brown and his partner, John Tellerico. So, Paul, thank you so much for taking time to be with me today so we can tell people about what you're doing.
Thank you, Hope. It's great to be here with you.
I'm glad we could do it. Now, first question, I know 2020 was crazy, but regarding your family and loved ones, what is one positive takeaway from last year?
Well, Hope, we had a challenging year last year. My dad had his foot amputated due to diabetes. We had some other challenges as well. Business was a little bit of a struggle because of the lockdowns that we had. So we had some restrictions where only essential services were open, but eventually we opened as well. I contracted COVID, my wife contracted COVID, but we way better. We're all excited and all healthy. And I guess what was really good about the last year up until now was that our family got closer together, and that's what matters. During difficult times, it's great to have a good support system and to have good friends around. I remember some friends also bringing us some soup and left it at the gate because they knew we couldn't cook it, we couldn't move around in the house. And that was really great as well. So I guess 2020, the highlight was having good friends and good family, having quality people around you. That was a bonus.
Wow. That's a year you won't ever forget, for sure.
Never,
I'm glad you guys are well. I'm glad you're still with us. My gosh. So what prompted you to take the class? I'm curious about that.
Well, Les Brown is one of my favorite motivational speakers. In fact, he is my favorite motivational speaker. I share a lot in terms of having difficult times, growing up, and also in business and all of those type of things. So I connected with Les, and when I saw the opportunity of taking part in his mentor program, I was so excited, and I thought this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I grabbed the opportunity with both hands and said, I'm in this program.
Good. And see, we wouldn't have met had we not both enrolled. Yeah.
No, we wouldn't have.
I know. Now, whether it's the Wednesday groups or the materials or how Les shakes it up a bit when he hears people deliver their little spiel, what would you say is one of your favorite parts that you enjoy about the program?
I enjoy the whole atmosphere where everyone's real. Les is real, he's himself. And that, I think, is very important, especially in today's society. We all have these facades and we wear these masks. But in our team and on this program, everyone's real. We're not afraid to make mistakes because we all know we just get better by learning from our mistakes. So that is something that really resonates with me. It's the wanting to do better, which is actually one of my mottos in life. Always try to do better.
I love how you say that. Better.
Better.
You know what? I'm going to tell, I digress, but in the US, we don't say better. And in the South, it's really, I grew up saying better. It's better. We still do. Anyway, never mind. Now, before I ask you what it is that you provide for people, I want to ask this. How has the course added value to what you already are doing, have been doing, and providing for people?
Having a lot of like-minded people around me is a bonus. Initially, I thought I was alone on this mission. I'm a Christian and a strong believer, and I believe that we put on this earth to help people find their purpose. And a lot of people who do motivational talks and motivation, it's always about what you can get in life and you will just prosper and how you can get more money. And that's not what it's about. Relationships is important. And having, good relationships, especially on our team now with you, Hope, we've had a few sessions together, a few chats together, that is important. And with my mission wanting to go out and telling the world that you can be better than what you are, there's a whole lot of other people on the team as well that want to do exactly the same thing. Les Brown even says there's greatness within you. And that is something that I'm really, really excited about, that I'm not alone on this mission, on this journey, trying to change the world one by one. There's people all over the world that's joining me in this mission, and that's great.
Oh, yes. And as I meet everyone one by one, just getting to know them individually, it's crazy, the wide variety. Number one, the wide variety of skills and expertise they bring to the table, but also their calling, their passion. One person wants to work with youth. Another person wants to work with women who've been abused. One gal last night told me specifically, she said, there are a lot of programs out there for women, but men who want to succeed, but they weren't brought up by a father who loved them and so forth. Now, you would think a guy would head that up, right? No, this is a woman who really has a heart for. I just was so, it was astounding. I told her, anyway, I could go on and on. Here's the last question. And by the way, people, I'm going to put the contact information whereby you can reach out to Paul, and it'll stay on the screen the rest of the video, so you have time to jot it down. It's very important, and you'll gain a lot from connecting with him. So Paul, tell the audience, if it's, you want to say your mission, your calling, your purpose, or your business, your however you want to frame it, in a nutshell, describe for our audience what it is that you offer.
So my vision is to impact the world in such a way that they will come to see that there's more to life than just existing. And each of us has a purpose, as I've mentioned before. And my mission to that is to impact people's lives daily, either by meeting them on one-on-ones or via Zoom call or in a motivational talk, either in crowds or at schools, in various venues. And that is something that is very close to my heart. There's also my initiative that I'm about to start. It's something that has been on my heart for a very long time. And those are for kids between the ages of 16 and 18. In South Africa, that age group struggles to get into what the Americans would call college. We call it university. They can't get into university or college because they don't have the funds to do it. So this initiative is going to teach these kids skills. So basic skills like communication skills, writing skills, how to draw up a business plan, how to set up goals, how to type properly, how to set up keynotes. We call them PowerPoint presentations, and all of those type of skills, so that these kids can make some money before they even finish school. We call it high school. I don't know what you call it in the US. So it's just before they go to university. We call it high school. So before they even finish high school, these kids will have little businesses running, little projects running where they can make an income for their families. The reality is a lot of young people in South Africa, their mothers, we call them are domestic workers. So they go to houses and they clean houses. So they'll clean houses, they'll do ironing, some fathers would do garden work, and they get paid minimal wage. And when I say minimal, Hope, you won't believe how little money these people earn. And with that little money, they supply or purchase food and pay for the electricity, their water, and all the utilities with that little money. And they bring these kids up and they try and spend most of that money on these kids to have good education. So my heart goes out to these kids, and I know that giving them these skills, they can plow that money back into their families and also into their communities. It was once said, to have a healthy community, you need to start with the family. So if the family is healthy, the community becomes healthy, the town becomes healthy, the city becomes healthy, and that impacts the world. So we want to get down to the basics, the bare basics, and the bottom of it all, and help little families get healthy so that they can impact the world. So that is my initiative. So besides all of that, I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm a life coach. I'm a motivational speaker. My story in itself is a miraculous one. If you've listened to my story, I love sharing it with a lot of people who feel discouraged. You've got a similar story, Hope. And that story of hope, you know, no matter what you go through, the book I want to write is Against All Odds. Because when I was born, I wasn't supposed to be born. I was born in a, you know, my mom was white, my dad was not. And that was during the apartheid years. So she had to give me up because they wouldn't allow a relationship like that in the apartheid years. And when I was born, what happened was the adoption agency looked for a similar type of family that could adopt me. So my family is very similar to the family, my biological family that I would have had. But also growing up, because I could never fit into a category. I wasn't white, I wasn't black either. In South Africa, we call that type of population colored. But that is also not quite me, because one of my parents are white. So it was quite awkward. And you know, those awkwardness carry through. You feel like you're a mistake and all of that you carry through. And I had to come to the realization that I'm a champion. I'm a winner. I told the story on my talk, and I said, out of 40 million plus swimmers in an open water race swimming towards the prize, one made it to the prize or to the end first, and that one is you. So at conception, you were born a winner. So society tries to make up all these little stories and try to make us discouraged, but we need to remember that at birth we were winners. So don't let society change your mind. I can chat on and on and on, Hope, and I know we've got a time restriction. So I coach individuals on a daily basis, in person or electronically, through social media, through Zoom calls, as I've mentioned earlier. But I believe the time has come to fulfill my calling, to motivate, to inspire the world, to make better choices, and to live, you know, a life of purpose, and to help individuals reach their dreams. So that is my calling. I've had this all my life. I've strayed sometimes. I've started businesses. I've worked for corporates before I started my own businesses. So I've strayed a bit, but my calling has always been to motivate and encourage others. In school, kids would come to me and just talk to me randomly, and I would encourage them. When I graduated from college, even my fellow students during college also would just randomly come to me. It's like I had a sign on my head that said, "Need help? Speak to me."
Open 24/7.
Open 24/7, and you can relate. And that is why I say it's important to live our purpose, because you never feel satisfied, no matter what other dreams you may chase. If it's not your purpose, you will always have that void within you, and nothing will fit that void. Like a puzzle piece, you can force all the different pieces in there. If it's not the correct piece, it will never fit. So now I'm in the space where I'm putting in that correct puzzle piece, and I'm putting more of my time into helping and encouraging others to reach their purpose and their dream.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I want to respond to what you said a bit ago. You know, I was born and raised in the South, and I know racism is different in every country and every region, and it's crazy how it can affect society and how you function within that community. But my parents were extremely racist, and even at a very young age, I'm going to say probably 5 years old roughly, because I hadn't gone off to kindergarten yet, but I would get beatings for playing with the little girl 2 doors down, African-American family. And at that age, I knew that racism was very wicked type thinking. And so it's amazing. And on one hand, if there's one thing that I could affect in our country, well, worldwide, but I'm home, I'm here, is to get rid of racism. Now, I'm just one person. I've pondered, I've prayed, I've thought about this. Where does one start? I don't know. Maybe eventually that's part of my calling. And as we talked, in another setting, some people know their calling early in life, others it's later. And sometimes your calling can take a turn where another layer is added to it, so to speak. And that's what's happened with me recently. Anyway, I really relate to what you're saying, is what I'm trying to tell you. And I want to thank you first of all, for taking the time to meet with me. It's wonderful. And I appreciate being able to do this. And you guys wrote down the contact information for Paul. Please reach out to him. It will bless you. And Paul, my goal, I hope this blesses a lot of people. That's it. That's the goal.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yep. So
the
have
more
a good
people
day.
we can, thank you. So in closing, the more people that we can help change and realize what their purpose is, the bigger our team of people will be who can help us change the world to make it a better place. So I hope you just need to get the right person that will change the world in terms of their view towards racism. So it might not necessarily be you, but you will talk to someone and encourage someone and speak to someone about your heart. And that's what we're called to do. We're not called to do everything. God has put specific people on this earth to fulfill their purpose. And as long as we do ours, the right person will come along. Thank you, Hope. You're such a blessing.
That's true. That's true. Well, thank you. Bless your heart. And it's true. I mean, a person could write a little book, like a 5-chapter book that's a paperback. And if enough people buy it and it really touches their heart, who knows, that one small book could make a big difference as far as any subject, racism, you take it, take a pick, whichever topic. Anyway, so I will see you in class, and everyone have an awesome day. Reach out to Paul. He will bless your life, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.